What is what is going on, my Patriots? How you guys doing? I hope you guys know that I have personally missed you guys. Have, I really have, man. I really have. We made it to 2025. We got to give another applause on that too. We made it, guys. We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. And I'm back on my grind. Sorry for this early type of stream. I usually don't do these early type of streams, but I'm off today and I'm trying to do things a little differently for the new year. We will be recording a lot more often. I'm also going to be doing a lot more uploads. I'm going to try to focus on trying to get the channel back going in the new channel as well. First things first, if you're on Rumble, please, 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 please hit the like button. Please share. Let's get more people in here. Uh, dang, man, I'm telling you, there was a lot that happened on New Year's Day. I was enjoying the family, and we've had something that has gave me 9/11 vibes, really, in a way. We had two mysterious explosions. We had an oh, excuse me. We had a two. We had one explosion, and we had one. Uh, how can I put this? I want to say a uh driving a vehicle through a crowd. Can't say hit and run, but driving a vehicle through a crowd. Now, the driving the vehicle through the crowd happened early in the new year. Okay. Uh, this is what we know so far about the gentleman that did this. Now, a lot of people, I'm about to share it right here. Share this guy. So, this is the gentleman that did this. I'm going to try to show his picture before we start playing anything or hearing from anyone. Uh, you always got to do. I hate when Fox News do this. I have to put all my information in, and it wasn't even like that this morning. I don't know why it wants to be funny now, but it's cool. All right, all right, so here is the two guys involved in this weird. Y'all, give me one moment. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. My dog wanted to be crazy, even though he is nuttier than squirrel shit. Trying to make sure I can see everybody while I'm doing this stream. So, all right. So, let's get back on topic. So, these two guys decided to do this crazy thing that we have never seen before in the history of anything like this in the U.S. Now, I'm trying to see if I can show their pictures again. So, this is Michael Livensberger. He was the guy in the Tesla. He was a Green Beret. And this is the guy that ran over the crowd. Now, this is what we know so far. And I'm going to read highlights to this, break it down to you, and tell you what it is. Again, y'all, please definitely share the live, hit the likes on all platforms. This is one of the realest that I'm going to give you. Shout out to Classy Lady. Thank you. Show that as well. Hot Rap, H-1B. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get to that too. Uh, Definitely share the video on the Instagram. So yeah, man, let's get this. Let's get at it. All right, so let me go get my train of thought back of what's going on here. So the Texas man, because the dude was from Texas, was named Shamshud Din Jabbar. As far as I know, the dude was raised in Texas. Okay. And on Wednesday evening, on Wednesday morning, he rammed his truck, a rented pickup truck, into New Year's revelers on Bourbon Street. Now, when this happened, everyone was at first saying that, well, the mayor first said Latrell, which I can't stand her ass, but she said, okay, this is a terrorist attack. Now I don't know if she saw the flags or whatever at the time, the evidence in the vehicle, but she said immediately it was a terrorist attack. Well, you had the DE, I woke FBI agent, the black lady, that shout out to my boy Greg, Greg, Black Conservative Perspective, for showing that, having that video. She said that, oh no, it was not no it wasn't no black it wasn't no terrorist attack. Let's wait here and let's get all the facts out. That's the first thing she said. Let's get all the facts out. Okay, we're gonna wait and get all the facts out. Well, what, lo and behold, was it? Exactly, a terrorist attack. The man had an ISIS flag in his truck. Had an ISIS flag in his truck. All right. Now, next thing you know, later on that day, we got this dude that's a Green Beret. They said been, like a super, is still active in the military, like Superman. Did his thing, uh highly distinguished. And next thing you know, uh he's in Las Vegas on leave now. because he just got back from Germany. They said that he got in an argument with his wife, and he got in an argument with the wife, got upset, drove off, and they think that he decided to just destroy himself, and that was it. He set everything up. Now I'm about to break this down. Now the dude blew himself up after I don't know how he did it. I don't know if he had a timer on the bomb and he set the timer and took the weapon and took himself out. But one thing I do know is that when they all said and done, he had taken himself out and he had bombed uh the Tesla with himself in it. Meanwhile, the New Orleans guy, before that even happened, had ran and injured and took out so many lives with that truck that he rented that when the police went to surround him, he had a shootout with the police and he was taken out that way. So, you know, I don't believe in coincidence. I really don't. I know a lot of people say that everything, there's such thing as a coincidence, but it's kind of hard for me to say it's a coincidence in this case because these uh gentlemen here, and hear me out on this, served on the same military base in Fort Bragg in North Carolina. They were also serving together around the same time. Now, they said that old boy was the man that ran the truck in the vehicle was a IT specialist and a human resource specialist. And if you don't know what human resource specialist and IT specialist is, usually most branches, because when I was in the military, to be human resource specialist, they usually call you like a yeoman or a PSN, um, pretty much like customer service type thing. They used to be PSNs, but then they turn them over to be yeoman. So usually yeomans are the ones that are like your resource specialists slash secretaries and stuff, handling things on the human resource side. IT specialists are usually just a whole different uh branch, a whole different MOS or division on a boat or company or whatever you got going on in your installation. They usually supposed to be the one handling everything. They don't worry about no admin stuff unless it's about their own division. Most of the time, they got they human resource that the military rely on to do that. So this one's a little weird to me that they said this dude did both. But again, if you've been in the military before, kind of explain to me how that works. If you've been in the IT field or whatever, being human resource specialist in IT. Now they said Jabbar, this gentleman, was there from 2007 until 2015. Okay, and then after that, he went into as an IT specialist, just an IT specialist only in the Army Reserve, and that was from I guess 2015 until July 2020. He got out. Okay. Now they said that he worked for Deloitte, which is a major international accounting firm, where he made about 10 grand a month. So guys, let me stop you right here. This dude that ran into these with these people so far is not a dummy. He is highly intelligent. He works with IT. To be working with IT like that, you got to be very smart to get that kind of money from these type of people. You got to be very well rounded. Cannot be no dummy. They're not gonna. If you're a dummy, they're not messing with you like that. And making 10 grand a month, you times that by 12. That's 120,000 a year. Not to mention, I'm quite sure that company, that exact company, probably got bonuses. So this right here is so far so good, insane to me. Now, everybody is still uh really talking about how these two guys were on the same base in Fort Bragg, but still nobody's not talking about how they are linked, or just thinking so far they're trying to play it down as a coincidence, because this young man that blew himself up in the Tesla was still active, and they both went to Afghanistan in 2009. So let that sink in. Now here's another thing. The gentleman that took himself out in the Tesla, his family said he was a extreme Trump supporter. He believed in the MAGA movement. So I hear this, and maybe there's not a link. Maybe it is a coincidence. But I think it's mighty funny that these two guys uh did this on the same day, use the same type of app. And if you don't know what the Turo app is, the Turo app is basically an app where you can go on and somebody owns a vehicle. Like, let's say for instance, somebody get a Tesla, like a Tesla truck, like this gentleman had, and was like, "Yo, man, you can get my Tesla truck, but you got to pay so and so amount every day to drive it." Now you can set the prices, however you want for the daily drive, but they're gonna tell you in the app, and you got to use common sense. Don't make it so high that it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out here and get a beater car and you trying to charge somebody to drive this beater car like $300 a day. Come on, bro. I mean, don't be like that. But that's what people do to make a little side money. You got an extra car around, and you like, well, you know what? I'm gonna put it on rent out. Now, when you do, you gotta make sure it works good, all the maintenance good, the whole nine. But besides that, you can rent it out through Turo and make you a little money. I got a homeboy of mine. He's got like 3 vehicles in his business name. He's got it under his business name. These fleet of vehicles, and he actually rents them out through Turo. They go, they tell them what they want, and they go through Turo, and that's just it. Now, before we proceed off of this topic, because I'm still going to investigate this as much as I can, we're going to talk about Tom Homan. Now, if you don't know who Tom Homan is the truth, the law, the main. Okay, the guy that is going to stop a whole lot of this foolishness at the border as soon as Trump get in 17 days. That's right. 17 days, liberals. You better you better you better be ready, baby. 17 days, boy. The games will be stopping. Okay, all that I want to play this tough guy role, that's going to stop. You know what they say? Daddy's home, bitches. Yeah, you're gonna stop then. You definitely gonna stop. Because you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Ain't no need of trying to play like you don't understand. You know what it is. All right, let's jump in and let's see what he got to say. All right, this is fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Let's jump into this.
Tom Homan now, the incoming Trump administration border czar. Tom, great to have you here. And I want to get to New Orleans again in just a second, but we just got this fresh information out of Las Vegas, and the police chief there giving us a lot of new details. I want to get your reaction to. He characterized what they're learning on the ground there in Las Vegas as a suicide with a bombing that occurred immediately thereafter. They're not aware of any other subjects involved in that case. While they are aware of the similarities to the person who carried out the attack in New Orleans, they are not able to directly tie these two events together. They have no evidence that they are tied together, but they do not believe any further threat from that particular incident is out there at this time. What was your reaction to what you heard?
Well, look, I think the further the investigation goes, I think they are going to find a connection between the two incidents. But look, they're both suicide events. The man in New Orleans certainly had no plans to going home for getting out and trading gunfire with law enforcement. So I think both these men realized they weren't going home after this event. But the threats aren't over. I've been on this network for 4 years talking about the threats coming across our southern border. And, we got a record number of known gotaways. Over 2 million people enter this country. We don't know who they are or where they came from or what their purpose to come to this country. They weren't vetted. They weren't screened. They weren't fingerprinted. We don't know who they are. And since the Border Patrol and CBP arrested well over 300 people on terrorist watch list, how many of that 2.2 million who escaped apprehension, who escaped vetting, who escaped fingerprinting came from a country sponsoring terror? Even Christopher Wray, the director of FBI, said numerous times under testimony in front of Congress, said this is the biggest national security vulnerability he's seen. I agree with him. So we're not out of the woods. This country is in grave danger. We need to secure that border. And despite what's happened the last 2 days in Las Vegas and in New Orleans, this administration is not stopping. They're still releasing thousands of people every week through the CBP One app, the H-1B program, and Border Patrol continues to release people in this country without proper vetting. This is not a good thing, and I can't wait for the new administration to take power and secure this border and protect our national security.
Well, the police chief was asked about the incident in Las Vegas, if they had seen any motivation and inspiration from any terror group. They had not identified anything there yet, I should say, at least. They said they're very heavily still in the middle of that investigation. But to the point in New Orleans and the FBI update that we all just got a short time ago, the FBI confirmed that the suspect in New Orleans posted videos online Tuesday night claiming that he had joined ISIS before the summer and provided a will and testament. So they did confirm that he was indeed inspired by that terror group to carry out that vicious, violent, heinous act and attack there in New Orleans.
Well, that brings another issue. I think the incoming administration needs to look at insider threat. I mean, insider threat analysis has been put in the back seat by this administration. If we got 2 people who served in the military that were that committed these terrorist acts, we need to really dig down into insider threat in our military, in our federal service, whether it's the FBI, whether it's other agencies, whether it's the military. Insider threat's a big issue, especially in our industry that has infrastructure responsibilities. We need to drill down and find out about this inspiration and what insider threat is currently in the United States government, military, and in the United States government service, and address them right away. We got to address insider threat. We have to. We can't let this go on any further.
Tom, just to circle back there, you said earlier, and you just referenced again a terrorist connection there in Las Vegas. The police chief said they haven't identified that, but to your point, you said you believed as this investigation carries out in Las Vegas that I believe you just said you believe they will find a connection. Do you have any other information, or have you been privy to any other information other than what we just directly heard from the police there in Las Vegas?
No, I don't. This is a gut feeling. I've done this for 3.5 decades. I just think there's too many similarities, too much coincidence. I think.
All right, I'm gonna start right there. I'm gonna finish playing my boy Tom Holman out. When Tom Holman said there is too many coincidences, remember I was talking about this. Okay, and let's go over again the coincidence that no one is truly not looking at in the situation. These two guys served in Afghanistan in 2009. All right, just hear me out here. They both was on the same base. They both decided to go and use the same app. My man's went and blew himself up. If my on Matthew Livelsberger, that's his name, Matthew Livelsberger, the guy with the Tesla truck, took himself out of the equation right there in front of the Trump Towers in Las Vegas. The other guy earlier ran into the busiest crowd on Bourbon Street with a truck that was also electrical powered, which is weird to me that they all both choose EV vehicles, and ran into the crowd, injured so many lives, took so many lives, and injured others, and then went and had a shootout with the police, and then took and was taken out by the police. So that lets me know that this dude, the Green Beret, might have used this whole patriotism thing as a front. Just hear me out for a minute. Because how come you and this guy both serve same base? Okay. You both decide at the same time to rent electric vehicles, both truck based, on the same app, and you do your thing. He did his thing over here in New Orleans, and you did your thing over there in the Trump Tower. Everybody try to say, well, if he was wanting to hurt someone, his family member, oh, he would have had a lot more. He could have done a lot more. Maybe he could have. But what we're trying to tell you is that maybe this was his way of sacrificing himself for this ISIS movement. Because they believe in that whole martyr thing. They want you to take yourself out to hurt others. Now, this was in a parking lot. Anybody could have got it anytime. It wasn't like he did this in a way where, he was way somewhere in another part of Vegas that was no man's land and no people was walking around. So to me, this is more than just a coincidence. I'm with Tom Holman here. There is something more to this. These guys are connected and bounded some way, somehow. And I hate to say this, but we're going to find a lot of people that are doing a lot of this dirty stuff. They're going to use the guise of patriotism, because everybody knows that if you're got a whole lot of patriotism on your network, on your pages, on what you got going on, people gonna fall for it. People gonna be like, yeah, man, that's a patriot right there, man. Yeah, he'll never do something against the US, or and that's starting to become a front. Not to mention, we got to talk about this guy, Shamsuddin Jabbar. Shamsud came over from Texas and came there, and he lived by the border. Now, they're starting to think that there may be, because there's been some reports of this, and we heard it later on, all off and on through last year, and there's a lot of people that is connected to the ISIS movement that have been slipping in and out, slipping in the U.S. Now, here's another thing y'all got to look at. They're also targeting veterans. These guys are masterful creators, masterful recruiters. They're gonna recruit people that have either been wronged by the US that they feel that's in the military or is easily influenced. And that's what they're doing. They're not playing no games right now. That's why you gotta have a watchful eye. You can't just think because old boy comes through wanting, oh well, he looks great. He's a military veteran and anything like that. You gotta be careful right now because right now the border is wide open and people are gonna try to do everything they can to try to get in here. That is why I support the mass deportation. We got to get them out because we got too much stuff going on. We got crime to where people taking over apartment buildings, people are hurting others. You got women on trains getting uh, lit up on fire and deceased and being deceased right in front of our face. We got so much of negativity going on right now that it is insane in the US. And it's got to be under control. If it's not under control, we are going to be sitting ducks because it's going to come to a town near you. And that's not spreading no fear mongering. That is just telling you facts.
Something down the road, they're going to show there's some sort of connection, whether it's this, they got whether it's some same network or where they got the tools to pull these terrorist attacks off. I just feel like there's going to be something down the road, and I could be wrong. It's just a gut feeling I have.
Got it. Well, we know that they're going to keep us posted as that investigation.
All right, so shout out to Tom Homan, man. Real G. Real G. Real OG. I'm gonna say it like this, guys. This thing right here is definitely a thing to be on the lookout for because we got 14 people that lives lost and 30 others that are not.
Good morning. I am FBI.
And this is a sad situation. This dude picked up his vehicle in Houston, drove all the way through to head on to New Orleans. Now they said that old boy wanted to hurt his family members. Now this is the guy that was in New Orleans, but he changed his mind and decided that he was just going to go and focus more on a random group, tourist area, things of that nature. So that way they can say it's a war between the believers and the disbelievers. And y'all remember, this has always been their mantra. If you are not aware of ISIS, they all about believers and disbelievers. And please believe women that are in the ISIS movement, you listen, they have no rights. Okay? I'm just gonna put it to you like that. They extreme. They out there. You have no rights. I'm just gonna put it like that. Y'all be talking about, oh, you don't have rights here. No. Go over there in the ISIS clique. You'll see what they talking about. They will stomp you out. They don't, as a woman, they have no respect for you. Your job is to do what they say, have their kids, and whatever they tell you to do, you better do it, and you better grunt and don't say nothing. Now, this is what crazy. Jabbar had 2 IEDs. Now, if you don't know what IEDs is, if you've been in the military or not, these are devices that you can remotely use to destroy things as explosions. You got to be very how can I put this, tech savvy to know how to use it. This guy went and did just that. In his end, he rode around with those 2 IEDs in the area. Then he went and drove as fast as he could into the crowd. He had 3 cell phones. He had the IEDs in the coolers, but they was able to the bomb squad was able to disable. Then they went to the dude's house. He had bomb making material over there. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, when I look at this dude's home, it looks like he lived like in a trailer home and everything else. But he also was making a lot of money. 10,000 a month, like I said before, is a lot of money. So I'm thinking for him to be able to get all those supplies and stuff, I don't think that this dude was doing like everybody else, making that kind of money and balling out of control. I think he was actually focused on the movement for these crazy behind people over here. Craziest thing I've ever seen. All right, we're gonna move right along, man. We're gonna talk about 1 second here. I guess they're not gonna let me get full screen, so I'm gonna get this on. We're gonna talk about H-1B1, man. I think we need to talk about it. H1 yeah, I think it's H-1B. H-1B. Now, I know that we as conservatives in the MAGA movement have been talking about the explosion of immigrants in the country. I know we talked about how dangerous it's been for our citizens to experience this explosion because we don't know who these people are, and we're trying to figure out what the agenda is. Because right now we got open borders, right? You know, people just coming in and doing what they want to do. Well, Trump is about to take office in 17 days. Let's get that. 17 days, baby. We about to take America back like it's supposed to be. And Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are basically the financial specialists of America right now. When Trump takes office, these guys are not able to be purchased. They are America's first, and they just want us to be straight. Well, recently, Vivek Ramaswamy went online and talked about that we need to focus on the H-1B visa system and make it where immigrants can come into this country that are engineer geniuses that point one percent to make America even stronger. A lot of MAGA people in the circle got upset, not to the point like liberals do, because when liberals get upset, they have meltdowns and try to eat each other up and stuff like that. People just had some disagreements about it. People's like, well, this doesn't fit the agenda that we are supposed to be focusing on, getting the immigrants out. And there's other stuff like the I think it's the O-1 visa. Shout out to my boy Greg, talks about that program sponsoring immigrants to come in that's got special talents and stuff like that. So everybody just fussing about it. And then they got upset because Vivek said that a lot of Americans are lazy when it comes to a lot of these fields. Now, everybody really got upset. Oh, you're dissing America now, man. What's going on here? All right. So, y'all know I am a hardcore MAGA supporter. Not to mention, Trump came out and he spoke his piece and said he agreed with Vivek and Elon Musk. Now, a lot of people surprised about this and said, well, I feel like Trump is going back on his word. No, he's not. Here's what you fail to realize. Everybody is in an uproar talking about, well, we get H-1B1 people in here, us that get high paying jobs and stuff like that, we're going to be training our own replacement. Well, there's an easy way to stop this. And still have this H-1B visa and still have America in the forefront to handle business in these competitive Silicon Valley industries. We need to work on our school system. But Joel, what does the school system got to do with these competitive jobs? And I'm about to break it down. See, a lot of us right now in America, in a lot of these states and major cities, have a educational problem. Education is not valued like it's supposed to be. Example given Baltimore. We done heard for years that each student that's the best or one of the top valedictorians of those schools, they got a 1 point or 1.5 GPA, I mean. Think about that. Think about your valedictorian has a 1.5 GPA. How can you be impressed with that? I'm not. And this guy with that 1.5 GPA winds up having to go to a community college and take more classes. And yeah, he gets good education, but it's not on those engineering jobs in Silicon Valley that makes people say, I want to recruit him. Not to mention, over there in these other countries, especially in India, Asia, especially Eurasia. Oh my God. Asia and Europe. These people are thirsty to learn in advance because they just want to get their foot in the door to be in America. They willing to take the pay cut. See, that's another thing you don't understand about H-1 H-1B. It's always been a wage suppressor. Now, why, Joel, is it a wage suppressor? Goes back to the economy and capitalism. You got to balance everything out. You don't want to have too much going out and not enough going in. You want to keep it very much so that you got not as much going out, but more coming in. Common sense. So that's when they go and they look at the American workers. A lot of us American workers, I was going to say it, we lazy. We want to do shortcuts. We just want the check. You got this person here who's hungry. They hungry because that American dollar where they at can change their whole life. American dollar goes a long way in Thailand, a long way in India, you know, all these other places, Mexico, all that stuff. So these people hungry to prove that they belong in the US of A. So these are the good folks. These are people that have went to school, mom and daddy done did everything they can to keep them from the negative influences of the country that they currently at. They come here, they flourish. And they flourish with that little bit of money that we laugh at, say, how dare they come with us with that? They have shown their worth. See, you got to understand, your work has to show your worth. A lot of us Americans don't show our worth. Example given, I'm working in industry where it's very demanding. Customer service. You have to be customer service oriented. I cannot say it enough. You have to be customer service oriented. When my customer service in my industry does not live up to the standard of what my customers are in search of, guess what happens to me in my industry? I'm sooner or later going to get chicken. That's just it. Cut off, kicked to the curb. So I basically prove my worth through my wage. They pay me pretty good. I mean, it's not the way I want it to be, but hey, I just work hard enough for them to know, hey, he really about that. And that's how you're supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. But a lot of these American, especially Gen Z today, they don't want to have work. I see a lot of them in my industry call out every chance they get. Don't want to work, but then they want people to pay them a handsome sum. Companies are tired of this. Companies don't want to pay somebody all this money and they ain't getting no results. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you invest in a bad chick in your life as a man. You done went up here, you done got her everything she want, nicest car, nice as this, nice as that, and you want something in return back, you know, intimacy, gratitude, all that stuff, you know, ego booster stuff. But she don't do that. First thing come out her mouth is she want more. Wait a minute. How can you want more and you ain't living up to the end of the bargain that I've invested? That's how people see it when it comes to work in America. Again, going back to capitalism and common sense. So now that is why all of these CEOs and major companies are excited about the whole H-1B because they know if I can go up here and get that situated, that I can get an actual worker that's going to work and I don't have to pay them as much either and get a quality of worker even more, I'm with it. So to stop this from being a phenomenon, America's going to have to work on not only the educational system, but we got to work on our discipline to work and to make money. We can't sit here and twiddle our thumbs and think, well, you know, this job is going to be here, so it's whatever. Like, the job needs us more than we need the job. The thing about a job is you can be replaced. People don't understand that. You can be replaced if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Nobody's going to pay money for you to be lazy. It just don't make any sense. It's not logical. So that's why H-1B is important. It's suppressing you folks that don't want to work your wage. You know, you got a lot of these Gen Zs thinking, man, I get paid $17 an hour. And I know somebody that's getting paid 24, 25 doing the same thing I'm doing. Fuck that, man. I ain't doing all that. And guess what? That's fine. Then you butt hurt and crying and upset when you find out that, oh yeah, by the way, we replacing you. But before you quit, I need you to train Pedro. I need you to the train Hashi or I need you to train Jin, you know, or Yin. You be like, what the fuck? Huh? Yes, that what happened. You did not take it serious. You continue to play games. And this is what you get. So yes, I'm with it. Until we value education more, get rid of the U.S. Education Department, start putting trade and work discipline back in these school systems so kids can understand the importance of work discipline, the importance of getting an education, the importance of getting these type of jobs in the Silicon Valley or other industries that are profitable. This is how we're going to continue to let outsiders get our shit because we're not doing in-house cleanup. It's what it is. You think Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy want to say, hey, man, it's America. Nobody ain't want to, ain't nobody trying to clean it up. No. That's why we got to step it up. Instead of crying and trying to cross division with each other because we're in our feelings, go to the source. You know what the source is. It's the education process with our children. Education ain't like it was 30 or 40 years ago, where you had real teachers, real superintendents, real principals, real people that want these children to succeed because they were sick of seeing these children fail. Fast forward now, these teachers, a lot of them are in for a check. Or a lot of these teachers come to work every day and don't want to do their job because they got parents that want to go up here and not hold their children accountable because they don't even know how to hold themselves accountable. So you got all of this moral mixture going on here of nonsense. And that's why we have to reach out to another nation to get things done. Sad but true. This is why we as Americans got to do better. We can't sit here and argue with the facts. I mean, that's just me. That's just how I feel. Now, someone may tell me, well, Joel, you wrong. H-1B1 is the worst thing ever. It's a wage suppressor, and they just want to make it where we'll never get any kind of labor, and they just want to make sure we can never bet ourselves. Okay, that's your argument, fine. But I'm just going by the logical picture of what I see. Since I've been on this earth for 41 years, a lot of my peers are not successful right now is due to the fact of the matter of how the school system was back in the day when I was going to school 24 and 25 years ago. 24 and 25 years ago when it started. But if we would have went back further, back 35, 40 years back, school was actually considered important. We done took home ec out of school. Why did we take home ec out of school? I tell you why. Because we got a lot of these modern women, a lot of them too, complaining about, I don't want my daughter to learn how to cook because in my mind, it makes her feel like that all she's good for is being a housewife. I want her to be career minded. Okay, fine. But there's also dudes that take home ec. Home ec was great for me. That's one of the staples that taught me how to really cook when I was young. Home ec. In fact, home ec also taught me how to improvise whenever I need to sew something. I appreciate my home ec teacher. Taught me a lot. Taught me how to balance my nutrition, all that stuff. But you let somebody else tell it, home ec is supposed to be this horrible thing and it's supposed to embarrass women and shit. And I hate that. I really do. Like, I really hate that we are still on that. We are still on this this thing where, you know, anything that can help improve ourselves as a people, a skill, or anything for life lessons, we want to go back to sexism and misogyny and all this bullshit. I want to say this before I end to a lot of these modern women too. I want you to understand, a lot of you modern women that's so super feminist, everything is not misogynist and against you. Okay? It's okay to pick up a frying pan or a pot and open up your phone and Google a recipe. Okay? It's okay. It's okay to take some time off work on vacation and cook for your spouse or y'all got kids or whatever, instead of being, I'm a career woman, I ain't got time for it bullshit. This is why a lot of you women out here too can't keep a man. I'm just being 100. There's a lot of women now that are coming up in the game that are starting to realize that a lot of these millennial women that cause this chaos of I don't need a man on overdrive are saying, oh shit, this ain't the move. This ain't the move. I need to get myself together and start learning some skills. And it's the fact, you got to learn skills now, because right now you're going to need them. You're going to need them. Because y'all got to remember, everything come back full circle. History always repeat itself. There's going to be a time where more women going to want to be traditional and want to stay home and help their kids or be with their kids and see their children grow more. And if you want the modern women that leans that way, you better pick up you a damn recipe book and learn how to cook. Because let me tell you something, eating out get expensive. Okay? McDonald's and all that other shit, it gets expensive. And ain't nobody trying to eat that every night because you don't know how to cook or you don't want to improve your cooking. Damn, man, I really did some preaching today, man. I usually don't do this type of preaching like this, but I had to get out my system. Been a long time. It's 2025, baby. We back in business. You know what I mean? Shout out to everyone that did the likes and stuff. Listen, my new channel, You Can't Make This BS Up, is up and running. Go over there and subscribe. Also subscribe to the official Patriot News Live. Subscribe over there, because like I said, I don't know how long this actual channel will be up for me to have all the access, because I got to get up with YouTube and try to see what we can do with this account, because the master account that it was attached to, Joe's Crime Stories, has been banned on YouTube over some BS. But it is what it is. It's 2025. I am not going to take that energy in here in this era. I am going to do what I can do for this year and try to kill it and get my numbers up and get my participation up. Because I've been out, man, with sick wife, and life has been getting me left and right. But I've made a determination that this is going to be the year that focus will be put more on the brand. Again, if you enjoyed this broadcast, please like, share, subscribe. If you on Twitter, follow me back, follow me back, follow me back, bro. Okay, if you like what I'm spitting, drop me a message. If you want to come on the show and do live call-ins, however y'all want to do it. I love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other. You know what it is. Your boy out.